Thank God it's Monday. Today is sermon application time, and we are looking at yesterday's sermon and applying it to every day of the week. Yesterday, Irene preached a sermon on Hannah. We are now in a series on women of the Bible and their discovery of God, what they discovered of God. Oftentimes, women brought something very new of the facets and person that God is into the world. Now, Hannah, she discovered that the Lord is the Lord of hosts. She's the first one ever in the Bible talking about God being the Lord of hosts. What does that mean? Like, God is the Lord that fights my battle. God is the Lord of the multitudes that are working together for the good of those who love Him. She knows that somehow because of her faith, and that's why we wanted to honor her, but also to recognize that fighting often doesn't look like fighting. She's not a soldier. She's not, she's not there with a sword and a spear. She's actually there and she's waiting to have a baby. That's why. Now, that means that God fights our battle by providing a son, right? So her son, Hannah's son, Samuel, is a foreshadow of what Jesus is to us. The way God brings in a new era, fights our battle, and is the Lord of hosts is by providing a son. Now, with this picture, making it applicable to us, I would say the key thing here that yesterday was preached on was waiting. How do you respond to the wait? Because the real battle often doesn't look like a battle. It's just living with the grief of the unfulfilled promise. It's living with the what could be instead of what already is. Waiting oftentimes feels like a battle. It says that Hannah was often taunted by, her opponent, her co-competitor. She was in a very unlucky situation by being married with another woman in the marriage to her husband. And so there was hard fighting about who gets to be loved more, and her not having any babies at that time was not just bad luck. It was looked like as a curse. So the way she actually responds to the wait was actually to go to God again and again. You read that she in 1 Samuel chapter 1 that she would go to the temple again and again, and one day she just has enough and she says, when you fulfill, right, that I will have a baby, I will have a son, I will hand him back to you. That's me paraphrasing, obviously. But she basically says, if my wait is over, it's going to be because God has provided for it. Now, here's the application. Ask yourself, or ask each other if you're in a group, what are you waiting for? Because the wait is often the biggest battle. What are you waiting for? What's the promise? What's the vision? What's the calling that you have on your heart that is not yet where it could be? Lay it on the table. Journal it. And then, if you're alone, journal it. If you're talking to people, talk. And then start to declare to God that if it gets fulfilled, that you will bring it back to Him. Whatever God provides for you, when He fights your battle, it becomes also His, right? And so that's the thing that Hannah did, and that's what I would encourage you to do, because my experience is that when I do that, when I lay my burdens down, when I put them on God, they become His burdens, and my faith grows, and my expectation of what God can do grows. It takes time in prayer, but it's so worth it. So I would encourage you to do that today. Be honest with yourself or with other people. Talk about what are you waiting for, and then start to pray. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful week.